Yeah. No, it's in the sky. I don't really care if you cry. Honestly, you should've never tried. Should've saw the way it pumped into the sky. He said, Bubba, why I'm still afraid to buy. Push him to the edge, all the bears are dead. Push him to the edge, all the bears are dead. Push him to the edge, all the bears are dead. Push him to the edge.
All the bears are dead. I'm even flexing a Bulls t-shirt here today, so you know I'm pretty much a walking top signal at this point. But nonetheless, let's enjoy the moment, the fact that we are pumping like crazy, and that was a hell of a weekly candle you can see on screen there. So the weekly close has come in, Bitcoin now above $28,000. Brief bit of analysis here on BTC. Previous weekly level, 27,000 bucks up here, which was the breakdown from 3 Arrows Capital capitulating and market dumping a load of inventory on the crypto space, which you could argue is quite an inefficient move in the market there. Well, we've just blasted straight through that, come out above 28,000 here, even wicked down to retest the 27K region, and now we're at 28,200. So everything looking quite promising here. And as you can see from the blue line towards the bottom there, we have an upward sloping amount of volume coming in for BTC, so Bitcoin volume going up along with price does look rather healthy, dare we say. And can we even mention actual gold, not just digital gold BTC, but actual gold here is also coming up, and I believe will come and test a triple top potential at the all-time high, which is around 2,075 per ounce of gold. Rejection here at the previous highs. These kind of candle body closes have served as a resistance here yet again, but 1, 2, could we see a third try at the all-time high here for gold? So could this be the week we see gold go and test for a third time the highs there and Bitcoin getting some follow through into the 30K region? Well, what have we got on the menu this week? Rectamides posted this, GM lads, big week ahead. A global financial collapse, FOMC Fed rate hike decision, that is on Wednesday. Arbitrum Airdrop, of course, Thursday. Let's get after it. Lifts the weights, touch the grass, stack the Crypto, check, check, check. This should be a core component of all crypto bros lifestyles. Now, I did want to bring up the DeFi Llama stablecoin stats here. So the total stablecoin market cap, $133 billion, down 1.47% over the previous 7 days. So a little bit of bearishness along with the bullishness due to the fact, of course, there's no new inflows into the market right now. It does seem that it's just potentially sidelined investors among us who are just getting back into the market, which is pumping up the prices. So not new fresh money in, but individuals moving off the sidelines. Obviously, stablecoins having a bit of a battering with USDC the other week, maybe a loss of confidence in stablecoins and people coming off the sides in that fashion. This is the start of the year, 2023. We started around $137 billion in USD market cap. As you can see, it has slowly grinded downward. Then, of course, the banking crisis and stuff, we did have a bit of a drop off there to 131 billion, currently at 133 billion. So a bit of a stabilization period there. But what you can see down here from the blue line is the TVL. So essentially, individuals levering up their positions, depositing stables into various protocols, and then extracting other assets or buying other assets with their stable coins. That's kind of what it's suggesting here. So that has gone from a TVL of $65 billion on March 12th up to $75 billion. So an increase of $10 billion in TVL on the stable assets. Now moving on to story of the week, which is of course Balaji here, who has been essentially putting Michael Saylor to shame, making him look a little bit conservative and showing him that there is no second best.
There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset, it's called Bitcoin, right?
So I didn't think we could get someone more bullish on Bitcoin than Saylor, but this guy, of course, predicting $1 million per coin is somewhat more bullish, but it's kind of him being hyper bearish on the US dollar itself, with mass money printing about to happen, as he states, and a state of hyperinflation coming in, which will see asset prices go up. And we're starting to see some cracks in the pavements here. The Spectator Index posted this earlier, breaking the US Federal Reserve and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that the US banking system's capital and liquidity positions are robust and the financial system is resilient. And as Dennis Porter points out, if you have to say this, that is not a good sign. So can we, in the spirit of Balaji, manifest $1 million BTC? Because apparently manifesting or believing in things is what the Fed is about, as Jerome Powell explains how the 2% inflation target was chosen. Listen to this.
Essentially, all major central banks target 2% inflation in one form or another.
How does that help my Nevada families? How does that help people in Nevada?
I'll tell you how it does. And it's I guess it's obviously not it's not obvious how that is, but what 2% inflation, to have people believe that inflation is going to go back to 2% really anchors inflation there, because the evidence is and the modern belief is that people's expectations about inflation actually have an effect on inflation. If you expect inflation to go up 5%, then it will. If everyone kind of expects that, because that's what businesses and households will be expecting, and it'll kind of happen because they expect it. So
if we expect $1 million per Bitcoin in the next 90 days, maybe it will happen. And they're obviously hoping, along with other central banks, that their incessant repetition of the 2% target really starts to make people think, yep, 2% is coming back, and that they will achieve that said goal. And we're starting to see the central banks work together here. So late last night on Sunday, the European Central Bank posted this. Now this guy here, Fajal Inc., or I'm not even sure how to pronounce that, but the guy behind Reflexivity Research is a very good macro follow. And he says, we are so effing back here. Press release from the central banks, a coordinated effort. Read the first line there. Coordinated central bank action to enhance the provision of US dollar liquidity, making dollars more easily available. It sounds like they're going to be printing more dollars. So has the Dixie now topped due to this fact? And are we going to have a period of bullishness into this, which effectively tells us sell by May and walk away, as this ends in April? So it says ECB and other major central banks to offer 7-day US dollar operations on a daily basis. This started with increased frequency from the 20th of March, i.e. today, and to remain in place at least through the end of April to support smooth functioning of US dollar funding markets. So obviously the central banks all speak to each other, and now they're colluding together here to make dollars more easily available to increase liquidity. This, of course, must be due to the fact a lot of banks are in a real jam right now. Central Bank of Canada, Bank of England, the Bank of Japan, the European Central Bank and the Federal Reserve and the Swiss National Bank are today announcing a coordinated action to enhance the provision of liquidity via the standing US dollar liquidity swap line arrangements. So there's obviously more issues under the surface than what we know about. This is serving as a liquidity backstop to ease strains in global funding markets, helping to mitigate the effects of such strains on the supply of credit to households and businesses. Easy money measures is what I'm reading in from that. And this guy here believes that this will see the DXY start to nuke, and he's calling for sub 100 on the DXY. As you can see here, it has gone down quite a bit from the range highs, 105. We were kind of expecting when it started to poke its head above 105, it could run into this kind of territory. So dollar bulls were saying, yep, going to go further up, but it looks like it has swiftly rejected from the 105s. And now the next line of support is down at 102. Lose that line, you kind of, I'm not sure if you can see it on screen there. There's a few candles over here at 100. But what do we know about this? When dollar go down, risk assets go up. We seem to have this nice cocktail unfolding in front of us, and this is why we're seeing Bitcoin bullishness. When the dollar rips, Bitcoin comes down, risk assets come down, and when the dollar starts to fade, we see the risk assets do rather well. So that funding program in place, or those swap lines in place till the end of April initially. So I'll say it again, sell in May and walk away. That is potentially on the cards here. Now this week we have, of course, a lot of liquidity entering the market, not from a central bank, but from the Arbitrum Airdrop coming on Thursday. These are some of the Arbitrum tokens I'm very much interested in and just track generally. And as you can see, they've been putting in some great big green numbers there. Camelot, Dex, Grail has been the highest performer. Typically what you see is the meme coins, the smallest market cap ones, do really well. And that was no different here with RB Inu doing very well. So it's kind of a case of What's going to happen here post Thursday? Are we going to see even more rips to the upside for these altcoins? Are people going to take their Arbi tokens and convert them into their favorite alts? I think potentially there's a large likelihood of that. Or will this $1 billion start to be bridged across other ecosystems, back to ETH mainnet, maybe over to AVAX? And are we going to see a bubble across different ecos as a result of this initial liquidity boost? So a very interesting week ahead. Other things to be aware of as well. The ZK narrative is not dead. We have on the 27th the Polygon Matic ZK EVM, so that is 7 days from today. So I think this one will still run up again. Immutable X has been teasing something, and I think that something will be made available or known tomorrow. So we'll probably update on that tomorrow to see exactly what IMX are bringing out. And this is kind of one of the second or third narratives that is kind of running at this moment in time, alongside obviously Arbitrum, and then the other one to notify you of as well is of course Bitcoin stuff. So anything built on Bitcoin's been doing really well. Just a few there. I'm currently tracking / trading and buying and holding, to be honest with you, as I think if we have this kind of sustained Bitcoin-led rally and we have the next cycle all being about Bitcoin, well, altcoins that have association with Bitcoin will do very well. And the third one on the list there, MintLayer, mentioned it on Saturday's video. Go and check that one out, as this has a token launching on the 23rd of March. And I will be purchasing that as it goes live. So more to come on that, and I'll probably do a video on MintLayer by Friday this week. So finishing up with the FOMC rate hike coming on Wednesday, the market is currently pricing this in: no rate hike, 40% chance, and a 25 basis point rate hike, 60% chance. If I was to bet on things right now, I would go with the majority here at 25 bips, but who knows what will happen here. Things are changing on a very frequent basis. New swap line put in by the Fed and other central banks together. That is a new revelation that just happened on Sunday night. And so this is a time to very much be engaged with the markets. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I'll leave you with that tune on the outro, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Yeah. No, it's in the sky. I don't really care if you cry. Honestly, you should've never tried. Should've saw the way it pumped into the sky. He said, bubble, why I'm still afraid to buy. Push him to the edge, all the bears are dead. Push him to the edge, all the bears are dead. Push him to the edge, all the bears are dead. Push him to the edge. Candles were alright, now they all green, like the prettiest forest that your eyes have ever seen. Shoulders got mad, squeeze them like a pimple now. Stumps turn into fuel now, watch the way it moves now. Round my lung all the way to the top, close when it's falling over. But I keep holding my back and spot, revving up like my Lambo motor. They said it's a bubble, yeah, so I made it my name. Glad you gave us trouble, so I ripped that shit off my chain. It ain't bad, I didn't buy a year ago. I was telling everyone I knew they didn't hear me though. We've been through the worst days, man, you should've seen the lows. Now I wake up, see another high we never seen before. Yeah, I don't really care if you cry. Honestly, you should've never tried. Saw the way it pumped into the sky. He said, bubble, I'm afraid to buy. Yeah, push on to the